And right now, I am so pleased to welcome to the program, gosh, I don't even know where to get started, Julie Golub. Thank you so much for coming by, Julie.
Thanks for having me.
We're going to be talking about Julie's new book here momentarily, Shoot. I love this. Your Guide to Shooting in Competition. Also, Barbara Baird from Women's Outdoor News.
Yeah, we're locked and loaded.
And Barbara, who did you bring with you?
I brought some one guns. Well, you already mentioned Julie down there on the left.
Yes.
And the second contestant, right here, is Mia Anstein on my near left. And then on my right, we have Top Shot Season 3 competitor Sarah Aarons, who is a cop.
Yeah.
Yeah, does Vice.
Yeah. Sarah, how are you?
Kicks butt and takes numbers,
good.
yes.
I have not broken any laws that I'm aware of in Las Vegas, by the way.
That's what everyone says.
Yeah.
She's a mom, too, so.
Oh, so you're really good at reading
I know
when
liars.
people are lying. Okay. I said that I'm aware of. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Well, I'm glad that you ladies could come by today. First of all, what are the one guns, Barbara?
Well, all of us blog at Women's Outdoor News, which is an e-zine online which features news, reviews, and stories about women in the outdoors, doing everything from shooting, hunting, catching bad guys, kayaking, camping, you name it, the whole outdoor regime.
That is so cool. And you know, clearly, with all of you here and your different areas of expertise and the things that you like to do, this really shows that I think in terms of the industry, you can't pigeonhole female shooters. You can't say, all right, well, the women are just becoming gun owners because of right to carry, or women are just becoming gun owners because their husbands or their fathers or their grandfathers are getting them involved in this, right?
Absolutely. We're such a diverse group of ladies here, and what's neat about our little group of bloggers is that we get to learn things from each other, which is really exciting.
Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about the book, Shoot. How did you decide that you wanted this was something you wanted to do, and where did you find the time to actually write this, Julie?
Well, you know, you write what you know, and shooting is what I know. I've been doing it for a few years. And basically, there's really nothing out there that's an introduction to get people into shooting. And I was really excited about having the opportunity to write it, to get those people out to the range, and especially to women. I figure it has a voice to women that a lot of other publications might not.
Absolutely. So let's talk about, I'm just looking here, why shoot, women in shooting, the 411 on guns, NRA Precision Sports. I mean, you really get into all of the different areas where people can get involved in the competitive shooting sports, right?
Absolutely. I think there's a shooting sport for everyone. You just got to give it a try, and the book jumps into a lot of different types. So hopefully you read it and you want to, get out and shoot.
I think so. And you point out, I mean, the shooting sports. I understand that probably a lot of the new gun owners that we're seeing are getting involved because of personal defense and personal protection. But when you become a gun owner and then you start exploring all of the things that you can do, three-gun is becoming incredibly popular. You have a chapter in here on nostalgia shooting sports. I ran into some folks from SAS, the Single Action Shooting Society, and they were all decked out in their gear. I mean, there's so many fun things to do within the shooting sports.
Absolutely, and shooters are great people. So you pick a sport, you give it a try, and you're going to love it.
Absolutely. Now, Mia, let me ask you: how did you get involved in shooting?
As a child, my dad taught me to shoot primarily targets. I didn't hunt when I was a child. My dad hunted, but girls weren't allowed to hunt.
Oh,
so
really?
I got to go along, which drove me even more to want to hunt.
Wait. He would take you along, but you couldn't hunt?
Yes.
Oh,
Carried his bag.
Yeah.
Dad.
I gutted and skinned a lot of animals.
Oh, and cleaned them.
Wow,
I'm
you got
good
to
at
do
field dressing.
You got to do all the fun stuff, right?
Yeah.
But that boring, actually taking the animal. That was so.
Yeah.
So how old were you when you actually went hunting?
When I started hunting, I started on my own. I was a single mother, and it's been about 13 years ago. I have a 13-year-old daughter, and I thought, wow, for $50 I can get a whole elk and fill the freezer. So that's how I started out.
I mean, we're laughing about it, but we were talking with Larry Keene from NSSF just a little while ago, and he said that hunting licenses were actually up last year about 2.7%. That's after 24 straight years of drops and declines in the number of hunting licenses. I have to think the economy has something to do with that.
yeah.
You know, as you say, when you can go out and you can get a deer and you can fill your freezer.
Or grouse or turkey, a lot of different things. My daughter, she in Colorado, you can hunt as soon as you can pass your hunter safety course.
Yeah.
And so I take her bird hunting, and she is so proud to provide the meal. And so that's
that
awesome.
is so cool.
Yeah.
I love that. And you know the NRA's Women on Target hunts that they have around the country. You know, there are all kinds of different opportunities. In fact, I know that they're going to be doing a couple in my adopted home state of Oklahoma this year. You know, where you can go and I think they're doing a wild pig hunt. What's the I'm sure it's difficult to answer what your favorite hunt has been, but what do you really like to go out and get?
Probably elk, bull elk.
Yeah? Why is that?
Bull elk or turkey, because you can call them into you. And even a turkey, when it's strutting and drumming, it's just the excitement and the intensity of them coming to you.
Okay.
Is my favorite.
That's very cool. Now, Sarah, do you hunt at all?
I do. Yes.
Yeah?
This year I started archery, and I got a 10-pointer.
Wow.
So it was pretty. I injured a couple before that. Sorry. I looked for them.
I'm sure they were fine. Yeah.
That's what the doctor on the neighboring land told me. I didn't really wound them that badly. So.
I want to talk to you about Top Shot. Last night on the program, Dustin Ellerman was on the show, and I had a great time talking with him. Yep. But you know, the show itself, and I love watching Top Shot. I think it's just such a great idea. I think it has provided so much exposure for non-gun owners to actually see not just shooting, but to see gun owners themselves as normal, everyday people. And I think it busts a lot of stereotypes. And I'm sure that, I mean, you were a stereotype buster in and of yourself. What was it like being on that program?
What stereotype was there?
Well, I think,
just so I'm aware.
Well, let me see. The old men in red suspenders, as a young lady who was on this program last night said. You know, everybody thinks that gun owners are just a bunch of old men in red suspenders, and that's not the case. Well, what was it like for you on that show? I mean, it's not a 50-50 split of men versus women.
No, it's not. And it's like Survivor where it's kind of a popularity a little bit.
Right.
A lot of stuff is edited out. There's a lot of stress for me personally. I was range master for my agency for 4 years. I ran our training department. I was the first and only female on my department's SWAT team. So I had a lot of pressure going in there in a couple of the challenges that I wasn't quite prepared for. The shoot, no shoot thing that can be career suicide for me if I shoot a friendly target, which is when Dustin eliminated me, was on a friend or foe type of target. So there was a lot of stress that I didn't anticipate. Plus, you don't realize how busy your lives are in the fact of computers and TVs and your cell phones, and when that's all stripped from you and all you have is a Bible and each other and maybe a couple of people you don't care for in the house, It gets to be very long days. So just even a week and a half felt like a month to me in the house. But
yeah, I mean, that would be a real adjustment for me, losing the cell phone, losing the internet access.
And even just having, one clock in the house. So, and it's not where the women were. So you want to see what time it is. You're going into a different part of the house and no schedule. So you don't know when you're going to a competition. And they'll say, get ready in a half an hour. And 2 hours later, you have no idea what's going on, that it's high winds. And so they can't do the exploding targets. And you're just sitting there like, I really want to drink something, but I don't want to have to go to the bathroom when I'm out there because I'm not a guy. I can't just turn around and go to the bathroom, So there's a lot of give and take, and so it was an adjustment. I wasn't quite prepared for all of those nuances.
Yeah, I can imagine, and it's something that we don't pick up, and the viewers don't really pick up on a lot of that.
Yeah, no, you don't see half.
So what was? Give us a good story that we should have seen. That was left on the editing room
right?
floor.
Well, there's a lot of good stuff that I could talk about afterwards, but I actually wasn't there very long. It was very stressful. Every group goes through a process where you're getting to know each other, and 2 competitions into it, I'm gone.
Right.
So on my birthday, might I add.
Oh.
Very sad.
Oh.
But I love Dustin, and I was so glad when he won because he truly, was deserving. So.
Right.
But I can't think of anything that really I could say, honestly.
If they ever do an alumni edition, would you go back and do it again?
I might.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't have any time off for the rest of the year when I came back. So, I mean, I used it up for that whole process, and it was really hard on my family. So,
Right.
you know,
Right.
I might. It depends. If it was a 50-50 split, women and men, I would probably consider it.
You know, what if they did an all-women version of Top Shot?
Yeah, I would consider that.
Yeah?
But-
Okay.
Julie would have
With
to
$1
go.
million, would you consider that?
$1 million. It doesn't actually work out to $1 million. It's like 60% less than that. So it's not actually 100,000. It's like 43.
Oh, okay.
That's
Wow.
what Dustin said.
Hey, now, you know, one of the other things I want to talk about, you know, as I was walking around the exhibit floor, saw a lot of pink guns, saw a lot of pink camo. I'm curious, at what point do you think this industry stops viewing women shooters and women gun owners as sort of these exotic and sort of unknowable creatures? And, you know, well, they're girls, so they must like pink. You know, let's just give them a pink gun. I was really struck by this. I mean, it seems like we're now getting to the point where it's not unusual to have women gun owners. The sort of novelty factor of this is really going away, and now it's sort of the new normal. So how do you see the industry having to adjust, and what can they do?
You know, I think, like, on behalf of Smith & Wesson, they've really focused on features that are important to women. Yes, we have pink guns, but we have the M&P pistol with small grips so that it crosses over with different size hands and different types of shooters. So being able to give a product that everybody can shoot and be successful, yeah, you're going to have your pink, your purple, whatever the case may be, because let's face it, I mean, I like pink. I mean, some people don't like pink, but, you know, it doesn't matter. If it gets women out shooting, hunting, and having fun, then I don't care what color it is.
Anybody else want
You have to get over the pink thing.
We have to get over the pink
I
thing?
think a lot of the top companies are realizing it real fast. You
Yeah.
know, a lot of them initially it was like, oh, let's just put a pink logo on the man's boot. And they're realizing that it has to be built different for a woman to really like it. And the best companies they understand that and they're doing it.
All right, Barbara, last night you and I were talking after the show was over, and you mentioned a company that was actually started by a woman, right? Are we seeing more of this as well? Women not just getting into the shooting, but women getting into the designing of products for both men and women.
Yes, we are. Well,
Hold that
talking
microphone.
about-
Hold
I
that
was
mic- there you
talking
go.
about Kirsty Pike with Proas. Wait, where's my P? I knew I had a P on here somewhere. And Proas Hunting Apparel, which all of us are on her pro staff, right? We
Yep.
still are?
Yes.
Yes, okay, as of this minute, we still are. No one's been cut yet? Okay, good.
Have I?
So, yes, we're all on it. And, yeah, she was a frustrated ER nurse who went to go elk hunting about 6 years ago and could find a pair of capri pants and a lingerie top in camo.
Which is actually my favorite outfit to wear when I'm hunting. But
She said, and she thought to herself, I'll look just like Cam Edwards and everybody will mistake me for him.
hopefully she has better hair.
So anyway, she, and this was documented in Forbes magazine last year when they interviewed her. This
Yeah.
is how well she's doing. Emptied her 401k. It's okay if I say that. And built the company.
Wow.
And now she's in Bass Pro, Cabela's, you name it. And actually, Julie is a member of pro staff because a couple years ago she sent me a photo of herself. Remember that photo?
Yeah,
And
yes.
whose camo were you wearing, lady?
That's the thing. It's all hand-me-down
It was
guy
her
stuff.
husband's,
Yeah,
her
it was my
dad's.
dad's actually, so it's even worse.
Wow, and she is a good hunter if she can
Yeah.
work through that.
But, you know, the one thing that I think women care about is being comfortable. And when you have women behind the scenes making great products and in the industry in general, and they're understanding that's a critical thing.
So my idea of hunting boots with stiletto heels probably not going to go over very well then.
Not for me.
Not for us.
Yeah.
All right, I'll go back to the drawing board then. Anything else that you guys want to talk about? I mean, what are you doing besides the book and the shooting and everything else? Are you going to be where's your next competition?
I'll be at the Smith & Wesson Indoor Nationals next month. I have a national championship right around the
Really?
corner, so not much of
Wow.
an off season.
How often do you actually do you shoot every day?
Not every day, especially in the winter. I live in Montana,
Oh.
so I do a lot of dry fire. But in the heat of the season, I'll definitely shoot 5 times a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. And Mia, I mean, it sounds like you've now gotten your daughter involved in hunting. What are your goals for this year?
This year, actually, my goal at the first of the year was to take more children hunting, and we've done one show as the outfitting business, and we booked 5 kids right off the bat for spring turkey hunting. So
Wow.
I'm already on my way.
Good for you. You know, it's really nice when you can meet your New Year's resolution and
Right
it's
away.
not even the end of
So now I'm
January.
making new goals.
And Sarah, what's new with you? What does 2012 hold for you?
You know, I continue with the writing. Barb's been kind of helping me out with some of that, product reviews, and you know, like we mentioned earlier about, you know, just the amount of products that are available for women, not just as hunters, but in law enforcement as well, is pretty sad. And I get a reminder of that when I walk through here and just try to find a pair of duty boots, and I have like 2 selections. So, you know, I like to work a little bit more with some companies, make some suggestions, and because I am very much a consumer,
Yeah.
and I don't mind spending money so long as it's something that's going to protect me at work or, you know, make me comfortable, because
Right.
I'm out in the elements, you know, 10 hours a day, you know, 5 days a week, you know, out on the streets and patrol. And, you know, I just want to make sure that the stuff I have is good. And I don't think just because there's only 10% women in law enforcement that we should get the short end of the stick when it comes to gear.
Right.
So.
Well, listen, please keep going after the scofflaws and the lawbreakers and making the streets safe, will you?
Yeah,
It's
I will.
It's fantastic talking to all of you. And Barbara, I mean, tell us
Yes.
where people can find Women's Outdoor News, and what are your goals for
Well,
2012?
we just want to keep inspiring, educating, informing, and maybe entertaining women. And a big news, the Daily Caller, you know, that
yes,
publication,
Yes.
called us up a few weeks ago and said, would you please throw a few of your women bloggers our way? So we threw old Julie over there, and I think they had out the roof, like 20,000 readers a day. Her 5 new resolutions for 2012 for shooting.
Yes.
Wow.
So it's been very popular, and so you'll see more of that over the Daily Caller. And I just saw Mike Piccioni today, and he said that the guns and gear section of Daily Caller, number 2, right after political section. So it's really hot.
We've had,
So,
you know, I'll tell you, I know several of the folks over the Daily Caller, David Martosco, the executive editor. I've talked to Mike a couple of times,
Right.
and they've been doing great work on covering Fast and Furious, and so we've had, you know, a lot of their journalists on. But they know that one of the keys in online media is you have to give the audience what it wants, and when they write about Second Amendment issues, their audience grows, and they get, as you said, you know, 20,000, 30,000 people who are reading these stories. So I'm glad that they have actually picked up on this, and I'm glad that they've come to you guys. That's fantastic.
we're glad they called too.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, listen, thank you all for coming on the program. Enjoy the rest of SHOT. I hope that your feet don't get too sore walking around. There's a lot of walking to do around here, but enjoy the week, and thanks for spending some time with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Julie Golub, Mia Anstein, Barbara Baird, and Sarah Aaron.